Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have some new products from Catrice to share with you. First of all, we have the brand new Invisible Cover Foundation. Very excited. And secondly, I managed to get my hands on this, which is the Magic Shaper Face Palette. I'm excited to share my thoughts on them with you today. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, please do keep on watching. So we're going to start off with the Invisible Cover Foundation, and this retails for about £7 and you get 30ml of product. This is not a first impression. I have been wearing this for the past week and have lots of thoughts to share with you. First of all, I think it's important to note that I wouldn't normally choose a soft matte foundation. However, I will say my absolute favourite Catrice foundation and one of my favourite drugstore foundations of all time is this, and this is the Catrice True Skin Foundation. This is absolutely beautiful. This claims to give a natural matte finish, but actually it was more kind of soft satin on me. Really gorgeous. So I was definitely hoping for more of the same from this one. As I said, I've been wearing this for the past week, but I want to demonstrate it for you today. This is a major release for Catrice because they have released 40 shades of this. Now, if you know anything about Catrice, they don't have the best shade range. In fact, they probably have, along with Essence, one of the worst. So you are talking a maximum of 6 or 7 shades in the True Skin foundation, which is pretty abysmal. So with the True Skin, I'm a 030, which is neutral sand. But just because you were a 30 in the True Skin doesn't mean you're going to be the same in this new Invisible Cover Foundation. And I also picked up a 04N. I'm so glad I picked up the 04N because this could have been an absolute disaster. So the 04N is described as a light medium shade with neutral undertones, and the 030 is described as a light shade with balanced undertones. So I'll just swatch them for you so you can see the difference. I was very excited to see that they had all these shades. However, they're not all available online. So on their website, you can still only access some of the shades, which was a little bit frustrating. If you're going to release a foundation, make all of the shades available. Here we have the 030. It looks almost grey, doesn't it? I don't know whether I'm seeing grey or green there. And over here we have the 045N, and that's the shade that I'll be going with. I shouldn't have worn a white top when I'm messing with foundations. So I'm just going to show you the 030 in the True Skin as well, just next to it. And they're just so different. So there's the 030 in the True Skin. That's the 030 in the Invisible Cover. And that's 045 in the Invisible Cover. So not much consistency with those shades. So I have a bit of eye makeup on at the minute. My base is my usual base, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. It has a glass bottle and normal pump. And I will say that I did have a few issues on the first day that I used this with the pump getting stuck and not dispensing, but just stick with it. I think sometimes they can just get a little bit tricky. So it claims to be an invisible lightweight foundation, which leaves you with a soft matte finish. It contains hyaluronic acid and aloe vera and promises 16 hours of wear. It claims to be buildable, long lasting, non-comedogenic and transfer proof. It is paraben free, it is vegan, and it is cruelty free. Ingredient wise, it is oil free and it is also alcohol free. But one thing you have to know is this does have fragrance. It smells quite fresh. If you are sensitive to fragrance, that is just something to bear in mind. I'm going to apply this with my usual BK Beauty foundation brush. This is the 101. So we're going to go in with one pump. Just to show you there on my hand, I usually like fluid, runny foundations. I find them easier to blend. I do find I struggle a little bit with this to blend it out. I will get there, but it just takes a little bit more work. Look, it just doesn't budge. So I'm just going to dot this, just blend it. I won't be bringing it under my eyes because I never use foundation under my eyes. I feel like this is a really good colour match for me actually. So I'll just do one half. If we just take a look at the side that has the foundation on and the side that doesn't, you can see really clearly that this has taken down the shine. Here's where I don't have any, and you can see it really shiny. I mean, more so with the lights, but you can see all the shine on this side of my face, and this is just taking it down a level. And I kind of like the finish that it gives you. I don't think it's an intense matte. It's definitely not a flat matte. So again, this is 1/2 and none. Now, the one thing that I am trying to monitor with this foundation, and it is a suspicion of mine, that it does oxidize slightly throughout the day, and you can judge for yourself. Now, I do have the sun in and out here, so it is going to affect how things look, but I have daylight footage for you to look at. This time I'm just going to coat some of the bristles on my brush and kind of just put it on this way. So I'll just do this side of my face. So now that it's applied, let's just take a quick look at the before and after. So before we talk about this, I'm going to insert some wear test footage. So this is footage of the first day that I applied this. And on this day, I just used some really, really hydrating products over the top. It claims to be medium coverage, but it's definitely more on the higher side. So this is how it looked in the daylight. And honestly, I didn't love how it looked in the daylight. I thought that it sat into the fine lines around my mouth, and that is the sign of a heavy foundation for me and for my skin type. Mine is normal to dry, and I felt like it sat into my fine lines. It looked really makeup-y around my mouth and around my chin. The one thing I will say is that it wears really brilliantly. So this is the end of the day. This is the end of an 8-hour day. Now, although it still looks heavy around my mouth and my smile lines, I thought that it had lasted very, very well. So the longevity is definitely there. The next day when I wore it, I decided that I wanted to try and soften it up a bit. So I actually did use a setting spray. I used the e.l.f. Dewy setting spray, and I definitely liked it a lot more. I didn't find it to be as heavy, and it didn't sit into my pores or lines as much. And as for the end of the day, I don't know whether it was using the spray or the fact that it was a much longer day of wear. This was after 13 hours, and I really liked how my natural oils had come through here and had softened the whole foundation up, but it hadn't worn it away. I thought that it looked really, really nice. I think one of my first observations is I do think that this foundation does oxidize. I think you can tell even now, even in this lighting, that it has got darker. So that might be something to consider. I think that you get a great amount of coverage. So as I said, it did tone down a lot of my shininess, and I really like how it covers sunspots, my age spots, and also my broken thread veins on my nose and stuff, and just evening out my complexion. I think it does a really good job at that. I think it's a solid medium, almost bordering on full coverage, to be honest. In my experience, it is transfer proof, and although it is a thicker foundation, it does feel quite lightweight on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy. It might look a little bit heavy in places, but it doesn't feel it. And I think the great thing about this foundation is that it lasts so well throughout the day. I think if you have more oilier skin or normal to oily skin, I think this would be a brilliant foundation for you. I think for my personal preference, it's not going to be something that I'm going to reach for because it's a little bit too matte for me, and it doesn't flatter my mouth area and my pore area very much, unfortunately. My skin is definitely more dehydrated than what it used to be. And I think this foundation does emphasize those areas of texture that I have and the areas of dryness or my wrinkles around my mouth that I wouldn't normally see emphasized with one of my more hydrating foundations or my more fluid, lightweight foundations. Looking at my favorite foundation with the True Skin and looking at the new one, the Invisible Cover, this is much more suited to me. It's much more flattering on my mature skin. I think I'm going to stick with my True Skin for now. All right, so I'm going to pop a little bit of concealer on. I may as well go in with my Catrice True Skin concealer, which I absolutely love. So I'm just going to pop a bit of this on. This is so hydrating. Feels really, really nice. So let me just blend this out. This is a brilliant concealer, by the way. If you are looking for an affordable concealer that is hydrating, great coverage, the whole True Skin line by Catrice is absolutely fantastic. So this is the Magic Shaper Cream Palette. I'm having to hold it because it actually falls out. Look, it falls out. I don't know why. It is a cream face palette, which retails for about £7. It contains creamy bronzer, blush and highlighter shades, each with 2 different shades. It is gluten-free, perfume-free, vegan, and promises easy application, blending and layering. So I have dipped into this a little bit, and obviously when I've been trying to save it, I've stuck my nail in a few times. So this is a really deep bronzer. I guess you could use that dark one as a contour shade because it is quite cool. But I think we'll go in handy and we'll go in with this light bronze shade. So I'm just taking my BK Beauty A507. I'm just dipping in and just wiping off some of the excess onto my hand, and then it's nice, isn't it? I think that the lightest shade is definitely light enough for me. Don't think I'd want to go in any deeper than that. That looks very, very natural, doesn't it? So that's with, and then without. I don't think you could go too wrong with this bronzer, even if you applied a bit too much. They are extremely lightweight and blendable. That is just blending out so easily, and I've just added a bit more. So we're just going to bring that all the way up there. That is very beautiful. I actually have another Catrice cream bronzer, which is this one, which is the Melted Sun Cream Bronzer, which I love. But actually, I think I prefer the formula of this one. It doesn't have any shimmer in there. Don't think I need much bronzing, to be honest, but I'm going to put some on the forehead like I usually do. That is really beautiful. I can't believe that is £7 for all of those shades. Wow. Oh, I like that. I like that bronzer. Really, really nice. All right, so blush wise, I'm trying to hold it in. I have swatched all these, but I'm going to go in with this pink here. I'm just going to dip my Refa 04 and I'm just going to coat the bristles a bit. I don't know how pigmented this is going to come out. Looks pigmented on the brush. Oh, that's super lightweight, isn't it? Wow. Wow. I have to say, I didn't know about this till my friend Annie over at Angelissima ASMR. She told me about this. If you haven't checked out her channel yet, please do. If you like ASMR, you will love her. So people are obviously comparing this to the Makeup Forever face palette. I mean, they're very different. They are very different because the Makeup Forever is big. There's a much more shades in there. In this, there is also these highlighters. They're very glittery. I don't know if that's going to ruin my makeup if I put that on. Let's just go in handy, shall we? I'll go in with my finger. I know what's going to happen here. I know it's going to emphasize my texture. No, I don't love that. I don't love the highlight, no. I mean, I'm not massive on highlight these days anyway, but they are glittery highlighters. So I'm just going to go over with my blush brush again. I love that bronzer and blush. Let's just take a look at the finished makeup look after using this palette. The shades in this palette, they are very creamy, very buildable, very lightweight. However, they still have the pigment. They are not too much, but not too little. They're kind of just perfect. These are two really good products from Catrice. Obviously, we've been through the pros and cons, but just to round it up, I think this is really nice. It's not drying, but it can look a little bit heavy. Just around the mouth area, I definitely get a little bit of heaviness and a little bit of texture and a little bit of oxidizing. Bear those things in mind. If you are using this foundation, please prep your skin, properly hydrate it, use moisturizer, use a serum, because I can imagine this would cling to any dry patches if you had them. The palette, £7. Amazing. This has definitely been my favorite of the two. I don't really like the highlighters. I think the highlighters are a little bit dry. However, the bronzers and the blush, really natural, really gorgeous, feel high quality. Definitely is great for travel. You know, you don't have to bring a separate bronzer and blush. You've got two of each there. They're very soft matte. I think they look really, really natural, very buildable. Very nice. As always, down in the comments, please do let me know what you thought of these Catrice products. Once again, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.